Welcome to today's deep dive into one of the most infamous chapters in American history, the Salem Witch Trials. In the late 1600s, fear, superstition, and power struggles turned a small Puritan community in Massachusetts into the stage for mass hysteria, false accusations, and tragic executions. Over the next 15 minutes, we'll uncover what really happened in Salem, why it spiraled out of control, and what lessons we can still learn today. The Salem Witch Trials are a dark and haunting chapter in American history. To truly comprehend the events that transpired, it is essential to delve into the world of 17th century Puritan New England. Salem Village, Massachusetts, was a close-knit community of approximately 500 individuals bound together by their deeply religious beliefs and harboring deep suspicions of those outside their community. Their daily existence was marked by relentless challenges, including brutal winters, widespread disease, failed crops, and ongoing conflicts with indigenous peoples. These hardships weighed heavily on the settlers and contributed to an atmosphere of fear and uncertainty. In the eyes of the Puritans, the devil was not just a mythical figure, but a real and malevolent presence in their daily lives. They were constantly vigilant, as they believed the devil sought to lead them astray from their faith in God. Consequently, witchcraft was not merely viewed as a sinful act, but as a crime against the entire community and a direct affront to God himself. This belief was deeply ingrained in the societal fabric of Salem Village, creating an environment in which paranoia and suspicion thrived. Adding to this atmosphere of fear and suspicion was the political turmoil that gripped the colony. At the time, Massachusetts had recently lost its royal charter, leaving the community in a state of political instability and unrest. These factors combined to create a perfect storm of fear and paranoia, leading to the tragic events that unfolded during the Salem Witch Trials. In conclusion, a deeper understanding of the Salem Witch Trials requires an exploration of the turbulent and tumultuous world of 17th century Puritan New England. The hardships faced by the settlers, combined with their deeply held religious beliefs and political instability, created a community ripe for fear and paranoia. It is through this lens that we can begin to comprehend the tragic events that unfolded during this dark chapter in American history. In January 1692, Reverend Samuel Parris's daughter Betty and his niece Abigail Williams began exhibiting strange fits, screaming, contorting their bodies, and claiming to be pinched or bitten by invisible forces. Doctors couldn't explain it, so the only explanation left was witchcraft. Soon, more girls began showing the same behavior. Pressured to identify who was tormenting them, they accused 3 women, Tituba, an enslaved woman in the Parris household, Sarah Good, a poor beggar, and Sarah Osborne, an elderly woman who rarely attended church. These first accusations set the stage for a wildfire of fear. Once the community accepted that witches were real, and hiding among them, suspicion could fall on anyone. In 1692, the accused found themselves in a nightmare scenario as the trials for witchcraft quickly spiraled out of control. Once arrested, individuals faced the daunting task of proving their innocence in a court that accepted spectral evidence, claims that a person's spirit had appeared to torment victims regardless of whether anyone else could see it. Imagine being convicted based on someone's assertion that your ghost attacked them in a dream. To exacerbate the situation, a special court known as the Court of Oyer and Terminer was established. While the judges were respected men, they allowed unreliable evidence and even encouraged the frenzy that ensued. Those who confessed to witchcraft were often spared execution, creating a chilling incentive for individuals to falsely admit to something they didn't do, while those who maintained their innocence faced the grim fate of the gallows. The pervasive fear and instinct for self-preservation led to a nightmare scenario, where many accused neighbors, friends, and even family members in an attempt to save themselves. The frightening reality of the Salem Witch Trials serves as a stark reminder of the perils of unchecked mass hysteria and the grave consequences of allowing fear to override truth and justice. This dark chapter in history is a sobering, cautionary tale about the dangers of succumbing to baseless accusations and the tragic outcomes that can result from rampant panic and misinformation. The lessons from this tragic period go. By the summer of 1692, the hysteria reached its peak. Prominent citizens, even respected church members, were accused. 19 people were hanged, and one man, Giles Corey, was pressed to death with heavy stones for refusing to enter a plea. Prisons filled with over 100 accused, witches from children as young as 4 to elderly grandparents. Families were destroyed, property was seized, and trust in the community crumbled. Fear had completely overtaken reason. The witch hunt became less about justice and more about power, personal grudges, and survival. By late 1692, doubts began to spread like wildfire through the colony of Salem. Influential ministers, such as Increase Mather, sounded the alarm, cautioning that it was preferable for 10 suspected witches to evade punishment than for one innocent soul to be wrongly condemned. Their voices of reason pierced through the hysteria that had gripped the community. Finally, the governor took decisive action and dissolved the special court that had overseen the trials. He also put an end to the use of spectral evidence, which had been one of the main sources of accusation during the witch hunt. The tide began to turn, and many of the accused were released from their unjust imprisonment. As the truth slowly came to light, the colony came to terms with the horrors of their past actions. In 1697, a day of fasting and repentance was declared, acknowledging the grave error that had been made. And in 1711, the colony made a formal apology by restoring the good names of the victims and providing compensation to their grieving families. The Salem Witch Trials stand as a stark reminder of the catastrophic consequences that occur when fear overrides reason, when justice is tainted by superstition, and when societies turn on their own members. Even to this day, the infamous term witch hunt continues to be used to describe the unjust persecution driven by paranoia. Let us never forget the lessons learned from this dark chapter in history, and may we always strive to uphold fairness, compassion, and rationality in our pursuit of justice. The memory of the Salem Witch Trials serves as a cautionary tale, urging us to resist the pull of fear and superstition, and to stand firmly on the side of truth and righteousness.